Stephanie, and this is Stephanie. I am Stephanie, this is Stephanie, I am Stephanie, and this is Stephanie. And welcome to Intelligent Life. I have to register. I was interested in licensing after I saw that there was a woman from the NFL that had licensed NFL apparel for ladies. Apparel. As we go along. So this is my company. Let's talk about that. Let's get away. Let's save our troubles for another day. So now the president's going to speak.
Thank you very much. Please, thank you. Good afternoon. And before we begin, 5 years ago, 9 innocent parishioners of a historically black church, you all remember this horrible event, were tragically killed during an evening Bible study in Charleston, South Carolina. That was a despicable act of evil. Today we remember this somber day as our hearts still break for the victims, and our prayers go with all. That was a terrible event. That was a terrible day. Terrible, terrible day for our country, for the world to witness. Thank you very much for being with us at the White House as we reaffirm our sacred promise to support and protect our great veterans. We love our veterans, and great they are. With honor and courage, these incredible patriots perform their duty to America, and now we must fulfill our duty to them, and that's what we're doing. And we're doing it beyond what anyone's ever done as president or as an administration. We gathered together to address an especially urgent struggle. Today we're unveiling our roadmap to empower veterans and end the national tragedy of suicide. Tremendous problem. Tremendous, tremendous problem. My administration is marshaling every resource to stop the crisis of veteran suicide and protect our nation's most treasured heroes. They've been through so much, and it's such a deep-seated problem. And we're doing tremendous research and everything you can do, but it is something that nobody quite understands, and they're gaining knowledge, but they don't quite understand it. And I want to thank our Vice President for being with us. And I especially want to thank, frankly, wonderful Karen Pence, who is so committed to the veterans and this particular problem. And thank you very much, Karen. We appreciate it. Thank you. Here as well are several members of Prevent's task force. Prevent's, it's called. Prevent's. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Robert Wilkie. Robert, great job. 90% approval rating, the VA. It's way, way up, 90%. That's a number that has never, not even come close to attaining that number, so it's a tremendous job you're doing. Thank you very much. Secretary of Labor, Jean Scalia. Jean, thank you very much. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex Azar. Alex, thank you. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, the great Ben Carson. Thank you, Ben. Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. Thanks, Betsy. And Acting Director of OMB, Russ Vogt. Thank you, Russ, very much. Also with us are Surgeon General Jerome Adams. Where's Jerome? Jerome, hi Jerome. And he got a standing ovation the other day. I introduced him. He got the only standing ovation, Jerome. What was that all about? And the executive director of Prevent's Task Force, Dr. Barbara Van Dalen. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. And representatives from several of our nation's leading veterans groups. We have tremendous people in this room, people that work so hard for the veterans, and they love our military, they love our country, they love our veterans. Thank you all for being here very much appreciated. From day one, my administration has been on a mission of historic scope and scale to deliver results for our great veterans. After years of shameful scandal and neglect under the Obama-Biden administration, and scandal and neglect it was, we have fundamentally reorganized the VA from top to bottom, and we've reestablished a crucial principle. American veterans deserve the highest standard of care anywhere in the world, and that's what they're getting. Great leadership. To help veterans get the care they need when they need it, we approved Veterans Choice and made it permanent, and that was a big deal. They've been trying to get it for decades and decades and decades. And we got it. We got it done. And basically that means if you have a problem and you can't get to a doctor,
County Executive Stephen
doesn't
Malone
work, you end up going outside, you
right
get
now
the
on
doctor,
Facebook.
we pay the bill, and they get immediate service. Some of the veterans were forced and past administrations for a long time, beyond the Obama administration even, but for a long time they were expected to wait a week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks just to get to see a doctor. It was a terrible situation. Now we have Veterans Choice. They've been trying to get it so long, and it works incredibly well. And I would say that's a reason why, when I say 90% approval rating, that's probably one of the big reasons. Before I took office, every month seemed to bring a new story of crisis at the VA by our friends from the media. But the days of endless and deadly wait lists are over, and they are never going to come back. Never going to allow them. Nobody can allow that to come back, what our vets had to put up with. I signed the VA Accountability Act into law, and we've removed more than 9,000 VA workers who were not giving our veterans the care, respect, attention that they've earned. And now that we have accountability, it's accountability, very nice word. If an employee of government mistreats our veterans in any way, does something wrong, isn't good for the VA, the secretary looks at them and says, "You're fired, get out." Before, you couldn't do that. We had people for years and years. We had stories, I could tell you, story after story, how bad it was. You had sadists, you had thieves, you had some bad, bad people. So 9,000 have been fired. And they should have been fired a long time ago, but we got accountability, VA accountability passed. We secured record funding for the VA, including $9.6 billion for mental health services in 2020. $9.6 billion. Every VA medical facility now offers same-day emergency mental health, something we didn't have or even come close to having. We have dramatically expanded telehealth for our nation's veterans, and with COVID, it's really become probably the hottest thing there is in medicine, wouldn't you say? I think so. It's gone up in terms of usage by hundreds of times. It was not picking up until COVID came along, and now it's one of the hottest things you have going in the medical world, allowing people to consult with doctors from the comfort of their homes and not having to go out and not having to make long trips, and you get tremendous advice, I hope. The promised White House VA hotline that I've been talking about has fielded more than 400,000 calls right in the White House, successfully resolving 98% of veterans' concerns. It's a great thing. We have substantially cut the wait time for veteran appeals, ensuring all issues are resolved in a swift and timely fashion. It goes very quickly now, very, very quickly. We're modernizing medical records to begin a seamless transition from the Department of Defense to the VA, something others have tried and failed to do. They've tried it for decades, long time. They wanted to do it. It's actually not as easy as it sounds, getting it done, but we got it done. The VA has also cut opioid prescriptions by 35% since 2017, and we're committed to defeating the opioid epidemic in America. We've brought it down by as much as 17% in some areas, 19, 20% in other areas. But that still means you have a lot left, but a lot of good things are happening. I have to say our border, where much of this comes in, drugs come in. We have a drug problem, we have an opioid problem. It's all the same big problem. But our border is now as secure as it's been in many, many years. The wall is now up to mile 212, and wherever we have the wall, that takes care of that area completely. But we're now down to among the lowest numbers we've ever had on the border, and I want to thank the President of Mexico, because we have 17,000 troops right now on the border, Mexican troops, and really helping us a lot. The number of veterans who say they trust the VA services has increased 19% under this administration. That's a tremendous increase. But I'm still more impressed. It's an all-time high, by the way, but I'm still more impressed by the 90 to 91% number. That's the number I'm going to use from now on. All right, can I do that, Robert? I like that. 91%. Can you imagine if you were a politician, you had a 91% approval rating? That would be pretty good. But there's more work to do. Ending the tragedy of veteran suicide demands bold action at every level of society. 20 veterans and service members take their own lives every single day. The loss of our heroes breaks our hearts and pains our souls. 1 year ago, I signed an executive order establishing Prevents Task Force to develop a nationwide strategy to support our veterans in distress and stop the grave tragedy of veteran suicide. Today, thanks to the leadership of Secretary Wilkie, it's been outstanding, I'm proud to announce that we are taking this critical initiative to the next level. Following the ambitious roadmap the task force has developed over the last year, you'll see things happening that nobody would have ever thought even possible. To lead this effort, Mrs. Pence and a team of ambassadors that she was very much involved with in choosing, including the Surgeon General, Jerome Adams. You're only there, Jerome, because Mrs. Pence wanted you there. Okay, that's a nice compliment. She's tough. That's a nice compliment. We'll launch a national public awareness campaign in the coming months. This historic campaign will mobilize every sector of American society to encourage heroes in need, empower them with the best prevention practices, and help every veteran thrive in their lives after service. They come home from these active battlefields and active places, and all of a sudden they're left sometimes alone, and you have a hard time with it. They fought our battles overseas, and now we must join them in winning this new battle at home. There's no single solution to this issue. Every resource must be brought to bear. We're expanding our partnerships with military and veteran organizations, universities, faith-based leaders, businesses, nonprofits, and all levels of government to establish specialized support systems for our veterans. The task force has already partners with 30 large corporations to help them prioritize the mental health of their employees, and we will continue adding to that number, and the number is growing very rapidly, very, very rapidly. We're also launching a national research strategy. The Prevents Office will work with the greatest scientific minds across our nation to evaluate research to better understand the trauma service members face. They face tremendous trauma. Identify effective treatments and communicate their findings to the public. The Prevents Office is currently reviewing the $1.5 billion of federal funding committed to suicide prevention to make sure research goes where it is most needed in order to save lives and to make lives better. Here with us today is former Marine and Coast Guardsman Chad Heiser, who can share with us his personal testimony about the importance of the steps we're taking today. And Chad, if I could, please, would you say a few words? Thank you.
Mr. President, distinguished guests, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak on this vital mission that affects the veteran community so much. The Bible says in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." God never wastes a hurt. These are the words I was told long ago by a mentor and friend, but never really understood their impact until I began the healing process from my trauma that I experienced in combat as a United States Marine. On March 23rd, 2003, in one horrific day, 18 Marines were killed that were part of Task Force Tarawa during the invasion of Iraq at the Battle of Al-Naziriyah. 3 days later, there was a friendly fire incident which rounds were mistakenly fired, resulting in the injury of Marines. After being honorably discharged at the end of my enlistment, I returned home feeling guilty for surviving, shame for feeling like I hadn't done enough. The war was still in my mind. I was detached physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I was angry and isolated from the world, including my family. Just 1 year after leaving the Marines, I decided to return to military service, this time with the United States Coast Guard, seeking a last-ditch effort to cope with the pain and regain my purpose in life. Unfortunately, my condition only worsened. In 2005, I attempted suicide. I was transported to a medical hospital, diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and shortly after I was medically retired. During this time, my wife was praying. She was asking God to help heal me from this combat trauma. I felt there was no one I could turn to, that my life just wasn't worth living. As a tough Marine, I was hesitant to seek the help I truly needed to recover. 2009, by God's grace and mercy, I was saved by Jesus Christ. After carrying these burdens that I had carried for so long, the newfound hope I had was my foundation now. In 2011, I participated in Wounded Warrior Project's Project Odyssey, a combat recovery retreat. For the first time since returning from combat, I was able to open up about my own personal experiences and help further my own recovery process. This was truly a turning point in my life that gave me a sense of new direction. As a Wounded Warrior Project peer mentor, warrior leader, and national campaign team member, I am fully committed to serving the veteran community by giving my time and attention to listen, empathize, and encourage and help carry the burden shared by countless veterans facing similar struggles after war. I've realized through my own experience how vital it is for veterans to have a positive support system, not only within our families and communities, but also within our government. Showing support and caring for those who are hurting. It's also important to let everyone know, let the country know, that they can be strong and ask for help if you are struggling. Mr. President, I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank you for your decision to implement this important initiative combating mental health and suicide crisis within the veteran community. I am so grateful for your actions in insisting veterans to get the help they need at such a critical time. Your leadership in this matter truly shows your care for our nation's warriors. Thank you.
That's fantastic, Chad. Thank you very much. I thought because she's so important to what we're doing, I could just, prior to Secretary Wilkie, ask Karen Pence to say a few words. And she's going to be leading us into the promised land on this very tough subject. Do you mind? Please. Either one, Karen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say thank you for this administration realizing that this is an issue that we need to face head on. You are changing the culture. It's the leadership at the top. It's people like Chad being willing to be vulnerable. It's people like Dr. Van Dalen leading the whole task force of real experts who have been dealing with the suicide issue for many decades. And now all of us are coming together. We came together a few months ago, the Vice President's residence. We talked about how we wanted to go forward with this initiative. And I feel like right now is such an opportune time because we're all dealing with anxiety. We're all dealing with stress right now. So if I can do anything as lead ambassador, it's my goal to help take away the stigma of mental health, take away the stigma for people to be able to come forward like Chad to say, there was a time in my life where I wanted to end everything. And our veterans, I've met with so many of them who say to me, I don't go to that dark place anymore. And so we are giving them hope. We want them to know, and anyone who's considering suicide, that there are people out there who want to help. There is a way forward, and I just am so grateful and honored to be lead ambassador for Prevents. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So she had no idea I was going to do that, but I have to say that I did it about 2 months ago. I said, maybe Karen wants to say a few words. And she got up and she spoke for 5 minutes. She blew everybody away. She was the star, right, Mike? And I said, come on, Karen, you got to go. Great, great. Really appreciate it. You're going to do a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, let's go.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I have been accused by some in this room of living in the 19th century and looking back on American history before I make any decisions. And I'm going to plead guilty to that for a second here and say that in the history of presidential campaigns and then later the administrations of a victorious candidate, there's never been a candidate or a president who put veterans front and center, first of the campaign and then of the administration,
ChicagoTribune.com.
until you did.
You can watch Governor Judy Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot address the crisis in Illinois. And when you talk about grants for businesses
I'm going to
in the
speak
city of
for
Chicago.
Mrs. Pence, and I'm going to speak for myself as the son of a grievously wounded combat soldier from Vietnam, and in Mrs. Pence's case, the mother of a Marine warrior. These are issues that we live with every day. And for the President of the United States to say it is about time that those who have carried the burden of freedom on their shoulders are put front and center of the national conscience, that is an enormous first step for this nation and long overdue.
Thank you, Ron.
I've thanked Mrs. Pence. I want to thank two other people First is our Executive Director, Barbara Van Dalen, who took this burden on herself, but took it joyfully, and is not only opening the aperture when it comes to a discussion of this last tragic act in a veteran's life, but also opening the aperture on a discussion, and finally having a discussion on mental health and addiction. So Barbara, I thank you very much for what you do. And last but not least, I want to thank our Deputy Secretary, Colonel Pamela Powers, who took this on when she was Chief of Staff and has carried it across the finish line. I thank you very much, ma'am. Mr. President, I'll go back to that history. In the 1890s, one of your predecessors, whose portrait hangs in the green room, was alarmed at the reports he was receiving from the Frontier Army of countless deaths amongst officers and men on the far outposts of the American West. He was the first president to begin taking a look at those sad numbers, and it has taken these 130 plus years for another president to finally say, enough is enough. On any given day, 20 American warriors take their own lives. Those are active duty, guardsmen, reservists. The largest part of that number is from my father's generation in Vietnam. But another reason why this task force is so important is that it will point the way for the rest of the country. Growing up as a youngster at Fort Bragg, the leading cause of death amongst my classmates in junior high and high school was automobile accidents. Today, it is suicide. It is a scourge that is impacting every segment of this country. So I want to thank the President for having a vision to identify the real solution to this national problem, and that is us, each one of us. Each one of us can help end the stigma that has prevented America from taking on the important issue of mental health. Each one of us can work to change the culture that made it acceptable to ignore the signs of mental health and distress. Each one of us can learn to identify the signs amongst our friends, our neighbors, and our co-workers. So this day is the beginning of one of the most important national discussions America has seen. It is an effort to find a solution to a problem that does not discriminate amongst its victims. The poor, the rich, people of all races and creeds. So I'm going to end with a story that I've told before, and it was one that I was very familiar with growing up at Fort Bragg. The looming presence in the home of the airborne was Matthew Ridgway. In fact, he was so powerful that even the minor league baseball team's mascot is named after him in Fayetteville. General Ridgway commanded the All-American Division to victory in North Africa and Sicily, and then General Eisenhower tasked him with leading the airborne assault on Hitler's fortress Europe on the night of D-Day. General Ridgway planned the operations for the All-Americans, the Screaming Eagles, and the Red Devils of the British 1st Airborne. But on the night of the invasion, he couldn't sleep. He fell out of his cot, and he reached for sustenance in the Old Testament, and he looked to the book of Joshua and God's promise to Joshua on the eve of the great battle of Jericho. And the Lord promised the general, I will not fail nor forsake you. Mr. President, that is what you have sent to the American people today and to the 20 million Americans who are in uniform and who have left uniform, that we will not fail nor forsake the people of the United States who have always carried, without question, our freedom on their shoulders. So, Mr. President, I thank you very, very much.
Great job you did. So Karen Pence has stated beautifully just a little while ago that two words, anxiety and stress. And all I can say, Mike, is thank goodness we don't have any anxiety or stress in this job with these people back there. But I will tell you, we're working very hard on this problem, and I think we've made a tremendous amount of progress. I even noticed your number 20. 20 is different than 24.
Secondly,
You know what that
Secondly,
means? Each
Pence
day, hard to
launched a
believe.
campaign in
Each day.
September of
20 is a
2018
big
to
difference,
elevate and
and
encourage
we're getting it way
military
down.
spouses,
And with some of
and
the
has focused on
treatments that
helping
we're
to
talking
create
about, I
solutions
think
for
it'll
the
go
unique
a
unemployment
lot lower than
challenges.
that.
So
And Barbara, I
she has
want to thank
traveled
you very
throughout the
much. I want to
country,
thank Chad. I
meeting
want to thank you
military
very much.
spouses,
It's
business leaders, and
beautiful
government
statement.
officials advocating
You've done
for
such a fantastic
more career
job. I see
opportunities for
General
military
Kellogg,
spouses.
he's one of our great
To stay
generals. He's
updated on
done a
Mrs. Pence
fantastic
visits and
job
events, follow
for
the
me, and
Second
he's doing
Lady
some
on
very
Twitter
important things for
and
me
on
right now. So,
Instagram.
General, thank you very much.
Her
You're a fantastic job. And we
Twitter
will have
account is
another
at
meeting
Second
soon.
Lady,
And that meeting will be a meeting of progress, because I know with Karen in
and
charge
her
and
Instagram
with
account
the Surgeon
is
General working along with Karen
Second Lady.
and the group that you have, I know every one of them, you're going to make big, big progress very, very fast. So thank you very much. Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. Mike, thank you.
The foreign ministers of the United States, Canada, France, Germany, and Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the High Representative of the European Union are concerned about China's decision to impose a national security law on Hong Kong. The open debate consultation with stakeholders and respect for protected rights and freedoms in Hong Kong are important. But the U.S. Secretary of State Pompeo strongly urges the government of China to reconsider this decision. And this is what the U.S. Department of State, the Office of the Spokesperson, U.S. Secretary Pompeo, G7 Foreign Minister statement on Hong Kong. There's also a continuation of the national emergency with respect to North Korea. Today, the First Lady Melania Trump and Tennessee Governor Bill Lee held a call to talk about children's well-being and Tennessee's efforts to address mental and physical health for children and families. Ms. Penny Schwinn, Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Education, also participated with the call. The First Lady spoke about these issues today with Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee. So I thank her for talking about that issue. Today, I listened to the Prevent Task Force call. So senior administration officials, they talked about different issues about the veterans' mental health. So about 6,000 veterans a year take their own lives, and that's about 1.5 times that of the general population suicide rate. And female veterans are even worse. They're 2.2 times that of the general suicide rate for the population. And I listened to Press Secretary Kaylee's press conference, and it was all interesting. Press Secretary McAney, she talked about human decency, and she talked about the president talking about tangible and action against the issue of bad policing. And then we talked about Maine lobsters. It's important to support the United States fishing industry. And then she also said masks are recommended but not required. And that's Press Secretary McKinney, except for me. I wish I had glasses to blur out bad people who take rude photographs of people at Walmart because they don't like the way they look. Anyway, I really don't like to respond to hecklers. I like to just proceed with positivity. Not that I haven't said bad things about people. So then, the president today just talked about the VA Accountability Act. And then talked about funding $9.6 million to help the mental health of veterans. So thank you all for talking about, isn't that interesting? Thank you for talking about the mental health of veterans. And a lot of people can't handle the subliminal message coding of the military. And maybe the military police need to be contacted. I actually contacted the military police and the Department of Mental Health. So this is amazing. This is really amazing. Today I talked to, I watched the press conference for the mayor, and you can watch that it's on my website, and IntelligentLuxuryMagazine.com's blog. The press secretary released a statement about President Trump welcoming President Andrzej Duda of the Republic of Poland to the White House in the future. So that visit will be really interesting, and they probably have like a state dinner. And at the state dinner, I wonder what type of Polish food they will eat. And then I was interested in learning more about Polish authors, classic Polish authors and contemporary Polish authors. It's really, I like being a member of the press. It's better than smoking crack and raping people, causing them to have neck and eye injuries that take decades to help heal, and then killing ear, nose, and throat physicians that try to treat me of the damage, and dermatologists. Better than that. So Mayor de Blasio talked about the NYPD's disciplinary system, and that is what he talked about today. So he said these measures, he didn't say that. New Yorkers are speaking up and their city is listening, said Mayor Bill de Blasio. These historic reforms will make the disciplinary process faster, fairer, and more transparent. We will never stop working to strengthen the bonds of trust between officers and the New Yorkers they serve. So now the U.S. Open, thank you for telling me about this. So, the U.S. Open is built for fans everywhere. It's official. The year's U.S. Open is happening, and as one of the first global sporting events to open in 2020, U.S. Open will be uniquely monumental. Hosting the event is going to be great. So save those dates. It's in August and September, and learn more about the U.S. Open. So the U.S. Open, 2020 U.S. Open is officially announced, presented by Mercedes-Benz, and one of their sponsors is IBM. So the show will go on this summer. It'll be a double bill at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. And this is great. There's great food and clothing at the stadium. So you can go to usopen.org to learn more information about the event, and you'll have more details tomorrow about the event. It's so interesting. the U.S. Open. So let's talk about ticket plans and luxury suites and hospitality. So, oh, this is great. So there'll be tickets sold, and looks like there might be tickets sold. And 2021 deposits are coming soon. There are luxury suites. I remember that there's the restaurants inside that people watch from the restaurants or luxury suites. So that was fun. Did I accidentally walk into a luxury suite? I'm sorry. I think I was in a restaurant with a bar and not a luxury suite. The experience, the ultimate VIP experience, and first class amenities. Remember, my mom worked at the U.S. Open. The ultimate VIP experience and first class amenities. They have private in-stadium, indoor, and outdoor seating, customizable in-suite menus, private in-suite restroom, full service with a dedicated suite attendant, included 20 tickets, plus 2 host passes, and included 3 parking passes. Lot A, Lot F, and Lot H. The view, prime viewing from a private exterior in-stadium balcony and interior suite lounge. The club level suites are located on the courtside concourse and offer the best combination of prime seating and private comfort. Mezzanine level suites are located directly above club level suites. The cuisine is a la carte, customized menu is an additional $1,800 minimum. The drinks, a la carte, selection of premium liqueurs and fine wines. Deluxe bar and wine package also available, and U.S. Open luxury suite packages are available on a per session, per suite basis. Each package includes 20 tickets plus 2 host passes, which allow early access, fast track gate access to the USTA BJK National Tennis Center, and includes access to the Champions Bar and Grill and Aces restaurant. Day session hours are from 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and night session are from about 6:30 p.m. So you can learn more about that at the usopen.org. I love laughing at luxury suites. So my mom and I went, we weren't in a luxury suite, and we saw a lot of the matches. So that's great that she was able to attend these events without me. And we also like to watch it on television, the US Open, if you're not able to attend. The Yale has MBA for executives. So Yale has Black Lives Matter. Yale School of Management stands in what we think is solidarity. So thank you for that information, Yale University. Yale University is in the state of Connecticut. Thank you, Tornillo. Tornillo is at the shops at Columbus Circle. Let's talk about the NAACP. So the NAACP, President on George Floyd's death, he said, we are at a juncture in this country. And he said that to CBS News. And then, oh God. So Georgia's NAACP leads protests against racism and election issues at the state capitol. I don't know what that's about. This is going to be on June 18th. This is going to be really interesting. NFL 360 presents Frederick W. Pollard, A Forgotten Man, documentary screening and town hall discussion. Join the NAACP for a virtual screening of the documentary A Forgotten Man, followed by a conversation with current and former football players and coaches. Thursday, June 18, 2020, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time screening and a 6 p.m. Eastern Time discussion. RSVP at NAACP.org. Inspired Change, says the NFL. So this is powered by the NAACP and Inspired Change and the NFL. Inspired Change NFL. On Juneteenth, Black Family Reunion, the music, the moments, the movement is on June 19, 2020, 24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be a live stream on youtube.com/NAACP and youtube.com Revolt TV. Powered by NAACP and Revolt. Revolt's owned by Mr. Sean Combs. So I worked with Sean Combs and fashion designers from Sean Combs when I was a board member on the Black Apparel Designers Association board. So I thank him for all that help. It's really interesting to help promote African American fashion designers, like Fashion Fair with Ebony Magazine. So Attorney General Hunter warns of privacy issues with contact tracing apps, sends letter to Apple, Google asking companies to help protect consumers. So the Apple CEO Tim Cook and Google CEO Mr. Pichai asked companies to take steps to help consumers from this threat. So Attorney General Hunter said that there's a threat in proposed federal legislation to address the privacy concerns, and there's currently no national standard for how the app should work. So Point Cruises is a luxury cruise line, and you can sail with confidence with Point Cruises. So anyway, as I braid my hair and unbraid my hair, I have to add more conditioner. Usually I love getting my hair products from Harlem, from the African and Korean businessmen in Harlem. A lot of hair braiding, even though I don't braid my hair anymore. A lot of people, you can get a lot of African American hair products and African hair products from the retailers in Harlem, but also at Target, Walgreens, and CVS, Dwayne Reed, and Rite Aid, and independent pharmacies. So let's talk about Martha Stewart. There's Martha Stewart and Martha Stewart weddings. The great people at the Martha Stewart weddings. So we used to attend shows when I worked at Engagement 101 magazine. And then there's a joint statement of the United States and France on the strategic dialogue. So France and the United States had a virtual bilateral discussion to talk about the issues that our two nations are interested in solving. So hosted by the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the discussion was led by Director General for Political and Security Affairs, Philippe Herrera, and Undersecretary for Political Affairs, David Hale. So remember you can order furniture from Perigold, and they do probably charge for delivery. But also you can go to Design Within Reach and other things. There's Coldwell Banker if you want a new home. Hello everyone at David Yerman. Mr. John Hardy. Remember, you can create a magazine using Adobe Creative Suite, Adobe, excuse me, not Adobe. So Adobe Creative Suite or Microsoft Office. And you are able to embed video in PDFs. So now, and then the U.S. Census had a webinar about demographic and economic resources using census data. It would be great to shop for jewelry at Sissy's Log Cabin. And then there's a PGA tour. I am a reporter for the PG. I'm registered as a reporter for the PGA. So let's talk about the PGA. So you can go to pga.com for more information about golf events. So So hashtag escape to golf through the lens is the PGA. And you can go to the PGA shop to purchase Father's Day's gift. Great golf starts with a coach that gets you. So that's interesting. So the next tournament is tomorrow, and you can watch it on CBS or the Golf Channel. The purse is $7,100,000, and it's at where is it? I'm sorry, I'm not talking to him. He's thinking, where is it? So this is in South Carolina. So you can travel to the PGA's website to learn more. So if you travel to PGAtour.com, you can learn more about the schedule. So I'm a reporter that's authorized and not authorized. I have permission from the MLB, the NBA, and the PGA and the NFL to write about different events. Also, I write about surfing. I do love the ocean. And I've boogie boarded, but I haven't surfed. Is that alright? So this week, there's the RBC Heritage, and that's in South Carolina, and that's going to start, you can watch that on Golf TV. And let me see, who's going to play golf? You can have events at different golf courses when there isn't a tournament. So it's going to be in South Carolina, and there are going to be different players like Aaron Baddeley from Australia, Byung-Hun Ahn from Korea, South Korea, Vaughn Taylor, Harold Varner III, he's the African American. Then you have Sebastian Munoz. I don't know where he's from. Oh gosh, this is interesting. I'm trying to register. How can I register here? Y'all, you can register for the licensing week virtual programs to learn about licensing. I know that if you want a license for certain companies, you may need years of a background in producing products or services for that person. This is Janet Jackson playing I Bet You Think This Song Is About You. So this is a great dress. So this dress is my dress. Isn't this a great dress? Great dress. It's a Nike tennis. You can wear this to the tennis. What am I doing right now? I need a picture of myself. I'm registering. Anyway. Someone's hypnotizing me. Do you think the song is about you? So I have to register. I think I'm already registered. Oh, Lordy mercy. So the sponsors for the licensing expo are like Beanstalk, Easy Rider, CAA, GBG, Peanuts. That'd be interesting to license the Peanuts. I like Charlie Brown. And Smurfs. Oh, and Sega. I would love the Smurfs. And they have different in Viacom, CBS consumer products. This is interesting. Wouldn't you love to do that, huh? You people? You good people? Or else? So the PGA tour, you have Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, and Tony Finau, Ted Potter, Xander Schauffele, Vijay Singh. I know a Xander. Met Xander. Dennis McCarthy. Xander and his sister. I don't know his sister's name. Sorry. I saw them when they were. Let me see. Louis Othuzzi. These are all the people. Some of the people who are going to play. I guess Tiger's not playing. Kobe, are you playing? So then, so when you plan a fake funeral, you have to tell people it's fake. But it's interesting planning funerals. So, Columbia University has building construction majors. So did I just register? So the platinum sponsors for licensing week, which ends sometime on the 19th. Brainbase, Jewel Branding and Licensing, OPSEC, Secure, Enhance and Protect, and Viacom CBS Consumer Products. They have meditation for the busy professional. That's going to be, I need that meditation. I have to meditate soon. Licensing Week Virtual Trivia hosted by Licensing International. That happened already. Oh. So that's interesting. There are sanctions against the Assad regime in Syria, but we can still have recipes from Syria and talk about authors from Syria at our Intelligent Luxury, Literary, Culinary, and Sociology trade show. Sometimes I'm invited to a talk with, travel with the Vice President Pence and Donald Trump in the press. So there's a plane you have to pay. So Mayor Baraka reminds Newark non-essential businesses you may reopen only after passing certain protection inspections. So they must submit their application in order to receive a color-coded certificate to permit their reopening after the closure due to a pandemic. And then you can pick up applications from Invest Newark on 111 Mulberry Street, Newark Downtown District, 60 Park Place, Ironbound BID on 56 Congress Street, Mount Prospect Partnership, 643 Mount Prospect Avenue, Bergen Lions, Clinton, South Ward, SID, 101 International Way, Partnership, West BID, 1044 South Orange Avenue, and Mount Prospect Partnership, 643-645 Mount Prospect Avenue. The Newark Bears plays in Newark. Are you allowed to go to the game? And then there's Cory Booker. And I would tell Cory Booker. So I met that guy. So I think I can listen. Maybe I think I can listen to this licensing expo. If there's Ooh. So, Michael Jordan licensing, it would be interesting licensing the Michael Jordan name, licensing my name. My company is Sun, River, and Ocean, and I just make different products, like home decor products. I have another company called Sun, River, and Ocean. I haven't made the products yet. I drew the products and sent it to an attorney. Hello to not my attorney. I just sent it to an attorney, but he's not my attorney. Or maybe he is my attorney? I sent it to a lot of attorneys. So Mr. Wells, he's my attorney? Mr. Ted Wells, he's one of the African American attorneys at Paul Weiss Rifkin Garrison LLP Limited Liability Corp. LLP Partnership. So that's good. What's going on here? Oh, so this is Licensing Week Virtual Agenda. You can register online. You may have to pay. And then once you're logged in, you can watch live and on-demand video presentations, live keynote speakers. So let's see these speakers here. There's a speaker on. So today is Wednesday. They're talking about art design and emerging categories in the world of licensed consumer goods. There's a lot of there were a lot of programs today. Oh, God. So tomorrow maybe I'll be able to talk about the programs, but the programs have ended with, I guess one is on now.
Thoughts about those on Facebook. Like, you can share them in, your own social circles. Facebook, I'll be honest with you, I did this, and it's liberating. It's a really, first of all, it's not easy, right? Like, you delete it and they're like, are you sure? And you go, yeah, definitely. Okay, we'll give you 1 week. We won't actually do it for a week. Wow. So there's a grace period where you go, no, I really need to see what everybody thinks about whatever topic. Change your mind. But if you commit and you actually delete it, and then you also delete it from your phone, on the phone, you deactivate whatever, and you commit, you get all this time back. It's a beautiful thing.
I don't know if I can do it. I suffer from severe FOMO. Like, I don't know if I can actually do it. So
I'm Alicia. You've been working out. I've been watching. It sounds so great.
But I do it.
Alicia, I've been watching you work out. You're posting, so you want us to watch.
It's true.
So now, are you eating any healthier or just working out?
That's a very good question, and I appreciate that question. I am eating a balanced diet. I have dessert every night. I eat all the food.
I have a shake for breakfast and a shake for lunch and a sensible dinner.
And it's green. It's all green. Leafy green.
very balanced. Like, I've become a baker like everybody else over this period. So last night we had a beautiful cheesecake after dinner. I made like a hummus and roasted vegetable wrap for lunch. I made pad thai for dinner. So like pad thai is not healthy. So I wouldn't say that I'm becoming like very careful with what I eat, but it's very balanced and it's all homemade and I know what's going into it. So I feel very happy with the way that I'm eating, even though it's probably more sugar than I've actually ever had in my whole life.
Right, so that's the thing with sugar. When I was at work, I would go into the restaurant and it would say salad. I was going to eat salad for lunch. 560 calories, 650 calories. And I was standing there going, wait a second, 600 calories? That's 3 donuts. I could eat 3 donuts for lunch or a salad.
Oh my God.
I'm eating 3 donuts. There's 600 calories. 600 calories is equal. I'm eating 3 donuts.
Yeah. Would you pick 3 different donuts or 3 of the same?
Oh, no, it's 3 of the same for me. I don't want to have a whole diverse meal. Yeah, I just want the one 3 times.
Wait, we have questions here from the
You pick
audience.
3
Mark
different salads?
Mosman.
Yeah, I picked 3 different
Yeah,
salads.
I would. I'm high maintenance.
You have questions.
Yeah, I don't know. And listen, I can see them. Let me help you. So Mark wants to know.
Put on the underwear. I've got antibodies. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we need a line of I got the antibodies. We need it on undies. We need it on t-shirts, mugs. We definitely need that. Mark Mosman wants to know when the first in-person trade show will be. You want to take out your...
Mark Mosman, we're not prophets here. You have a lot of questions, first of all. You have a lot to say. You should have just joined us. You should have been like the
You should.
The Price is Right. You know, I appreciate everything. Someone, what is this, Jeffrey? Someone wants to know what's hanging behind Millen. Is it a jacket? Yeah, it's a jacket he never wears. Why are you asking? Okay. Mark Mosman, next in-person trade show, it's going to be a while. I think it's going to be a while because this is not even funny anymore, guys. It's just going to be a while. Like I said, if I'm able to meet you guys here, why do I have to go anywhere ever again? While I'm sitting here, my wife delivered 2 cookies. Okay, they're not low fat. They're just.
Wow.
Marshall, you have something in your teeth.
It's probably possible. You know, I usually get something
It's
in the
Lego.
beard.
You have some Lego here.
The beard catches it all, guys. You know, oh my God, there's crumbs everywhere now.
Everyone has beards now. You're not special anymore.
I got a haircut.
Everyone. Oh, nice. Who cut your hair?
I had some lady come to the backyard, and a bunch of us stood in line, and she just took a weed whacker and went across the top of everyone, and she left.
Nice. It
She wore a
worked.
mask, don't worry. And I'll tell you the best thing that's happened since Corona. And we'll wrap up soon, because I know Millen's got a 3:30 event that he has to get to, because he's got the antibodies. So,
The jacket.
right, he's going to put that jacket on. He's been standing on street corners going, got the antibodies, $99 a minute, right?
Cool. I got the antibodies.
I've been dying to quit the gym, okay? I go to Equinox, which is very expensive. And now, thank God, since Equinox is closed, the email saying it's closed and you don't have to pay for the month that it's closed, which I appreciate because I wasn't going before. And I had called
Who
them
said
one day.
licensees aren't getting relief? That's serious relief.
You see? Saving like $300 a month. So I called up Equinox a few months ago saying, I want to quit the gym. And they're like, oh, there's 2 ways to go about quitting the gym. And I was like, no, there's actually just one. I tell you, and then you do it. So right now we're 50% of the way there. He goes, there's 2 ways. The first way is you could come in person. And I'm like, coming in person, did you not understand? I have not been there in months. That is the whole purpose of me quitting the gym, is that I am not even going to the gym. I don't know what it looks like when you guys go to the gym, but I go to the gym, I go to the locker room, I get changed, I keep my eyes diverted from all the people that are naked because I can't. I won't even look at myself naked, no less someone random stranger. There's definitely homeless guys showering at the Equinox. I don't know how they afford it, but they're in there showering. Now I walk around the machines, and I will do whatever machine is available, which usually is like some random like neck machine where you go like this for 5 minutes because all the normal machines are occupied. So I do that for 3 minutes, I look around and I put my clothes on and I leave. So I've done that 4 times in a year. So if the thing costs $3,600 for the year, it's costing me $800 per visit to go use the neck machine. So I want to be let out of my Equinox, They said the second way is that you could write a letter. So I'm like, who writes letters? Like, I'm home now with quarantine. I don't have envelopes. I have to go buy an envelope to write you a physical. Can I email you? No, you need to send a physical letter. So the best thing that's happened to me so far is that I've been out of my Equinox membership. I'm not working out. I'm keeping my top button unbuttoned. I'm watching other people exercise. I'm not walking around Vegas losing weight. I'm learning how to use Zoom, Skype, WebEx, Teams, Blue Jeans, Google, Meet at Google, and all those things.
You're evolving.
I feel like I really changed. I got this button unbuttoned, by the way. I'm like a new guy.
Hey. Do you want to talk about the fact that you always wear jeans? Is that like a... Do you want to bring it up?
I've been wearing jeans since first school in yeshiva. You had to wear pants. I wore jeans, and then I wore them through high school. I wore them through college. One day I didn't wear them. I was going to summer classes of college to finish early, and everyone was wearing shorts. I go, I'm wearing shorts tomorrow. Wore shorts. My legs were freezing. Plus, I have very skinny chicken legs. They're not attractive legs. I'm going to be honest. They're like, I have ladies' legs. They're beautiful. Girls, ladies, my legs are stunning.
Website is
Okay, if I shave them, I can
Mercedes-Benz of
stunning. I am
Huntsville,
Giselle of legs.
owned by
Okay?
Mr. Bob
But
Johnson
for
from
a man, I
the
have
Beach
Marshall
website.
Said legs. The attentiveness
MBHSV.com.
went over 85%.
Wow.
I think it was
And
Giselle.
then
I think it's the word
Hornets Apparel
Giselle,
gifts
not
on
legs, but
Hornets.com
maybe.
for Father's Day.
So I
The
wear
Jordan brand
jeans. I
sells
wear them
apparel and
every
accessories
day.
on
Even if
Nike.com.
I'm meeting with someone extremely
Or-
important, I still wear jeans with a suit and tie.
I'm sorry.
And then
Or,
even on weekends, even at night, I don't own sweatpants. I don't travel in sweatpants. I don't lounge in sweatpants. So if I
And the
even
Jordan
go to prayer at
Jewish
synagogue, I
shoes
come home, I
on the
put
VR, but I don't
jeans
see the word
on.
Jordan on
So if
it.
it's like 11
And
o'clock at night,
then
you just
Mr.
got home from somewhere,
Sherman.
I'm putting jeans on to lie down on the couch.
Is the majority
So,
owner
jeans all
of the
the
Miami Marlins, and Mr. Michael Jordan is
What do
the
you sleep
minority
in?
owner along with
Jeans.
Derek Jeter is the minority
I've been
owner
wearing
of
this
the Miami
outfit for 3 days.
Marlins.
I sleep in jeans. No,
Please
I
visit
can't
the
tell you
Miami
what I
Marlins
sleep in,
website,
but
marlins.com.
it's jeans. As soon as I wake up, the jeans go on. There's no like stretching
How
pants.
am I supposed to ask that question?
Some people wear shorts in the morning or
The
sweatpants to
MLB
just get
and
ready
the
for the day.
How you've been through this entire
MILB.com are
pandemic
websites where you
wearing
may be able
jeans
to
is
purchase
like,
Sharon made a comment one day.
baseball
She
team
saw the
tickets.
photo I posted of me outside with the dog. She
Baseball
goes,
game
"Are you
tickets,
wearing
I'm sorry.
jeans? It's 92 degrees
it's
out."
like
I wasn't-
90
I
degrees.
wasn't
He's
kidding.
sitting there with the...
Michael Jordan owns Sincora Tequila with his friends.
I
His
like
friends
jeans, though.
are
They're
the New
stretchy.
York
And you can put stuff in the pockets.
LA
Like, when
Lakers
you put stuff
co-owner
in
Jeannie
sweatpant pockets,
Buss,
they're like
Milwaukee Bucks
dangling
co-owner
around,
Wes
and then when you lie down to the plane, they
Edens
slip
and
out.
Celtics owner
So,
Y.
I like
Grosbeck.
jeans.
And
They're
as well as his
practical
then fiancee
Yeah.
Amelia
Jahan,
Fazalani.
are you
Please
still out
visit
there?
Sincora.com
Have
for
you
more
considered
information
cargo
about where to
pants?
purchase Sincora Tequila.
Yes, in
Mr. Michael Jordan
1994,
attended
I
the
wore
University of
cargo
North
pants to
Carolina
high
at Chapel Hill.
school.
And the University of North
That
Carolina
pocket was the
Chapel Hill
quality
website
pocket. I
is
appreciated the
UNCW.
additional storage space. Because
And
back
there
then,
are other
well, not then,
campuses.
a few years after that, you
The
had to have a
Novant Health
digital
Michael
phone,
Jordan's
you had to have a digital
Family Clinic
camera,
website
you had to have a
is
GPS navigation,
Michael Jordan
you had to have all these devices in your
Clinic.org.
pockets. You needed cargo pants just to carry everything.
I think they're making a comeback.
Yeah. Since you're such a jean expert, what's that little pocket for?
MJSHConnecticut.com for his
No, that's not what
steakhouse in
it's for.
Connecticut.
What's it for?
MJSHConnecticut.com for the
Was it? It was
steakhouse and
probably
the
like for
casino in
phone tokens or
Washington.
like something
In the state of Washington.
There was
And
4 people that were negotiating. They were going to Walmart. One guy goes, "Listen, I got 4 pockets." The Jewish guy goes, "I'll give you a
There's a
5th
steakhouse
pocket."
in
You know, and they
Chicago.
put a little pocket, and the rest was history.
So you're added
Five
value.
spotted pockets. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the website for
That's a
that I
good one.
believe is
Like, there.
I'll give you a 5th pocket.
The big pocket.
All right, guys. For those that tuned in, we're up to 90 viewers at one point. They did not like the 5th pocket joke. We're down to 68. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Today was just a moment to have a quick laugh between
So
what's been going on in the
MJSHChicago.com,
world, between
Michael
everything
Jordan
in the past 4
Steakhouse.
months, especially the licensed virtual
Chicago.com.
week. If you needed a minute to just de-stress, have a
Table
quick laugh.
23, and
We're
if
all
Michael
here for
Jordan's
you.
not there,
We're
you
here
can
online. If
consider
you're
that
offline,
table
you can reach out at
for
any time for a joke and a laugh and a drink. We can go to Dylan's house later to drink old scotch while he's sleeping, and he'll leave the water bottles. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. I had a great laugh with my friends.
someone did something
Thank
on
you everyone
Facebook.
for watching, and we hope you have a great week, a
So
safe
then
week.
on my
and we hope to
website,
see
in
you
terms
soon
of
in person, especially you, Mark
LuxuryMagazine.com,
Poston.
there are links to Mr. Michael
Thank
Jordan's
you.
restaurant's
Bye,
website
everyone.
All right,
and
thanks,
links
guys.
to Mr.
Go
Bob
get those
Johnson's
antibodies.
Mercedes-Benz
Bye, everyone.
automobile dealership
See you.
in Huntsville, Alabama. Then we have, if you want to go to school, you can go to the University of Pennsylvania. Thank you, Licensing Expo. Thank you, Licensing Expo, for letting us listen to the comedians talk about licensing week. It's virtual. The funny thing about Licensing International is that tomorrow they're going to have a live workout hosted by Licensing International and the NFLPA. That's the NFL's Players Association. Feel Good, Give Back with an NFLPA live workout. And that's going to start at about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And then they're going to have another one that's, 7 p.m. GMT time and online. So that's good. There are other events tomorrow, let me think. Tomorrow there are other conferences or webinars. Tomorrow and tomorrow and the 19th. If you fly to Vegas, what's in Vegas? Anyway, tomorrow, day 4, on Thursday, June 18th, keynote. There's a at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's the keynote speaker talking about invisible marketing, a hidden tool for connecting with consumers through licensing. Mr. Lopman is the founder and CEO of Global Icons, one of the world's leading brand licensing agencies, as well as the owner of Fred Segal, a top boutique fashion retailer based in Los Angeles, California. Lotman's keynote will focus on highlights from his newly published book, Invisible Marketing, in which he postulates that in the brave new world of e-commerce and digital marketing, well-known brands need to focus on licensing as an essential tool for successful marketing. And this is a must-attend session for all brand owners and managers needing education on why licensing is critical for a brand's marketing success, as well as for companies seeking licenses to sell more products and experiences. The moderator will be Mr. Patterson of OPSEC Security, and the session sponsor is OPSEC Security. At 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's a conference about Pitch the Brands in partnership with InventHelp, and it gives inventors the chance to gain first-hand insight on their invention from an executive panel of product experts and thought leaders. Chosen applicants will have their product revealed in a live online audience and panel of judges during the PTB event taking place during Licensing Week virtual on June 18th. The judges, Mr. Yusum, President of Product Council, Mr. Miller, Director of Product Partnerships, Danco LSP Companies, NCH Corporation, Mr. Smith, Managing Director of InventHelp, Intromark, and Ms. Metro, host of Netflix, House Doctor, and dozens of infomercials. Then at 11 Pacific Standard Time or 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Feel Good Give Back with NFLPA live workout. Speaker Mark Ingram Graham, running back for the Baltimore Ravens. And the first 50 registrants will receive NFLPA branded hats. Then they are going to talk about Licensing University and offer information for people about basics for programming for those of the new to the industry, alongside actionable insights and innovative strategies for seasoned and executives. The basics of licensing and partnership strategies. And it will be taught by Mr. Seltzer Licensing, who completed his 17th year teaching a 3-credit brand licensing undergrad class at NYU, one of my alma maters. I took, an NYU class in high school on my high school's campus. Should you consider using talent as part of your social commerce? That's one program with the speaker Ms. Clisby, Attachment London, Esports and Licensing, the State of Play. In the crowded marketplace, it's an effective way to get their product, property, and business to stand out from the crowd. The session will examine the positives and potential pitfalls of creating a talent-based strategy for the online and social commerce worlds. And that's a company, Attachment London. That's the company she works for. There's Esports and Licensing, the State of Play. I'm sorry, I read the incorrect. Should you consider using talent as part of socials? Ms. Clisby's program with Attachment London. Mr. Amos Diffuse is speaking at the Esports and Licensing, the State of Play. What you need to know about royalty rates. That's one program, or what do they call it? Seminar or webinar. And the speakers are Mr. Cibello, NFL Players Inc., and Ms. Niadna, Brand Genuity Europe, and Ms. Dunn, Discovery Incorporated. So I work for PBS, maybe Discover. I may work for Discover already. Then the CEO of Schreiber Research, Mr. Schreiber, is going to talk about pandemic consumer marketing and trends. And then Ms. Menta from Peanuts Worldwide, that's the Charlie Brown cartoons, and Ms. Caldwell from Styleworks. The moderator will be Mr. Brochstein, Licensing International. And they will talk about marketing in the new normal. Why consumer research matters, especially now. The speakers will be Ms. Tallarico, Church and Dwight, and Mr. Harmon from Church and Dwight, and Mr. Whitaker from CR Brands, and Mr. Modi from CR Brands. And then the pandemic effect. What will the market realities of pandemics mean for negotiating license agreements? And the speaker will be Ms. Boyle from the Richard Law Group. And then this is all on the website, and you can read about it. And there'll be other keynote speakers. Fly to Las Vegas? It's only 6 hours to fly to Las Vegas, Mom. Someone send me money? So we can watch virtually. So I was interested in licensing different types of apparel from different companies. So licensing is when you use another company's name and you pay them to, and you pay them and you put your name on your products or services. So today the president, today the president yesterday the president talked about signing an executive order on safe policing for safe communities in the Rose Garden. The vice president yesterday, he went to the Forest City, Iowa to meet with the workers of the Winnebago Industries. So he talked about a lot of different staff, especially the men of the craftsmen who make the wood of the staff and wood of the Winnebago. And so that was good. Kobe Bryant, retired LA Laker basketball player, created the children's novel The Winners in Our Series. One of them is written by Wesley King, and you can look at that on my website, intelligentlegitimagazine.com. And remember to go to BarnesandNobles.com or Books-A-Million.com or your independent bookstore. So I went to Bookends in Northville, New Jersey this week, and that's where I bought the book Little Women. And my mom bought the Wizard on series. So y'all can see it. And then the movie The Lovebirds. Please watch The Lovebirds on Netflix, starring Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani. And then the movie Then we have if you want to lease space in a Pennsylvania Real Estate Investment Trust, who owns the malls, the Cherry Hill Mall, who owns the Fashion District Shopping Center in Philadelphia, and then also Plymouth Meeting Mall and other shopping centers and malls. You can go to PREIT.com. That's the Pennsylvania Real Estate Investment Trust, and Mr. Corradino is the CEO of the trust, and he's on the board of trustees at Temple University. As is Miss Tamron Hall. So what am I going to say right now? Let's talk about Indianapolis and Gary, Indiana. That's what I want to talk about. But first, let's talk about the Indianapolis Public Library. There's a business district or the main shopping district, and that's downtown Indianapolis. And we have downtown Indy. So I'm also going to talk about Philadelphia's business district. So I like the shopping center, the Liberty Place too, and that's either on Walnut or Chestnut. So I love shopping in Philadelphia. I drive and shop in Philadelphia frequently when I had an automobile. Oh, this is great. So the Indianapolis Public Library's website is indypl.org, and online genealogy workshop, the Library Service Center. Adults are invited as Indy PL staff members. Ms. Wright will discuss using online tools such as Ancestry, Library Edition, and others to help viewers begin researching their genealogy. Then they had that workshop. But if you go to the website, you can learn more about there. Someone forced me to not wear my glasses now. So I like driving with my glasses on, my contact lenses. So they begin on the 12th to reopen the branches to patrons at 15 at select Indianapolis Public Library locations. And they have curbside service, so we'll talk about that. Libraries, so this is the Indianapolis Public Library. And they have events like Coding for Kids, Animal Chat, and Indianapolis Special Collection Room Virtual Lecture Series. So they are going to have a virtual lecture series, maybe. It says no programs on the website, but the Indianapolis Special Collections Room Virtual Lecture Series, the undefeatable Grace Jillian Clark. Apparently, Miss Grace Jillian Clark was a lifelong advocate for social change, justice, and women's rights, and is presented by historian Jackie Sweetheart. The program was made possible by the Friends of the Library through gifts of the Indianapolis Public Library Foundation, and is presented by the Indiana Humanities and the Indiana Women's Suffrage Centennial. The event is being held as an online meeting webinar, and those registered will be emailed login instructions approximately 24 hours before the event. So So this is Janet Jackson, We Go Deep, and that's events at the Indianapolis Public Library, and their website is indypl.org. It's been great to stay on a budget, especially like myself, who lives with her parent. And I graduated from college. So there's the Indiana District Office. I did have my own apartment, however. So it's great to save money and start your own business. And now I'm a White House correspondent. So Indiana District Office, they're in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the website for that is sba.gov/offices/district/in/Indianapolis. And they have different business resources and news. So isn't this great to do that? So SBA's Great Lakes region has nearly 308,000 loans totaling $22.8 billion approved in Paycheck Protection Program second round, and that's from the U.S. Small Business Association. The Library of Congress has pictures, photographs, and sketches of Indiana. They have a panoramic view of Evansville, Indiana. It's a map from the 1880s. So I like looking at maps. Downtown Indy. Downtown Indy is how to do business. It's about how to do business in Indiana. That's downtownindy.org. And they have Downtown Indy Cultural Districts and the Wholesale District. They have the Circle Central Mall, and they have Monument Circle, and they have historic buildings and skyscrapers. Locate your business downtown. Be innovative. Downtown Indy is there to help make sure your business is successful. So you can call 317-237-2222. And you can go to downtownindy.org. So they have different areas where you can have business. And there's a downtown banner program. So they have reasons to locate your business downtown. Salesforce, the company Salesforce, employs 1,400 people in Indianapolis with a plan to add 800 by 2021 or 2021. You get more bang for your buck. Indianapolis ranks as the third most cost-effective city in the nation for business in a KPMG study. And job growth prompted NBC News to coin Indianapolis as the new dream city for millennials. 73 projects are planned through 2020 with $2.9 billion projected in investment. And the business district is in the center of Indianapolis, Indiana. Also, Whole Foods, the local grocer, will be opening their first downtown location in the third quarter of 2017. So they opened that as an anchor, the Market 360 property with 27-story residential tower. There are several companies that moved to Indianapolis in 2016. Pondurance, Return Path, Site Strategic, Slingshot, Streetlinks, The Speakeasy, Tinderbox, Torchite Technologies, Infosys, iLab, High Alpha. These are several of the companies that moved to Indianapolis. More than $110 million was invested to to renovate 10 vacant or underused buildings in Indianapolis. Onward Investors Limited Liability Corporation is spending more than $4.5 million in renovation costs to attract office users to this incredible location directly on the Cultural Trail. And that's on 130 East Washington Street in Indianapolis. Is it Washington Street? It's 130 East Washington in Indianapolis. So Simon Property Group is invested in Indiana and Indianapolis. I wondered how they could help Gary, Indiana. Let's talk about the cultural districts. So the Canal and White River State Park is a cultural district. Fountain Square, Indiana Avenue, and Market East, and Mass Avenue, and the Wholesale District. So 4 of the 6 districts have homes directly in the downtown Indianapolis, while Fountain Square is just a mile southeast. The Canal and White River State Park looks like a nice park, and then there's Fountain Square, and that's on Virginia Avenue. Indiana Avenue is between the Central Canal and the White River, and it is where history, music, restored neighborhoods, and spirituality come together to showcase Indianapolis's rich African American heritage. So then Mass Avenue is the whole new angle of excitement that promises 45 degrees from ordinary. It's known as the Arts and Theater District. They have 5 performing art theaters called Mass Avenue home, and several or many art galleries on the avenue, Mass Avenue, and locally owned niche stores. And they offer dining on Mass Avenue. On Market East in downtown Indy, that was established in 2014. And the downtown Indy showcases modern and green buildings and historic landmarks. And the boundaries of Market East are Delaware Street on the west and New York Street on the north. There are bright lights in the Wholesale District, and amidst downtown's historic buildings there are skyscrapers in the Wholesale District. And the Circle Central Mall delights people in the downtown district. So maybe I should open up my own shopping center. Maybe with Simon Property Group, I don't know. Why would you want an old lady or man that stalks people in their homes with negative comments 24 hours a day, and sometimes perverted comments? How about that? How about that? So the Circle Central Mall is open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And so it has the Banana Republic, Harry and Izzy's, H&M, Lucky Brand, Aeropostale, Bath & Body Works, Chick-fil-A, Banana Republic. And you may be able to lease space at that shopping center. Isn't this great, Mom? So then, In the heart of downtown Indianapolis, Circle Centre Mall offers tourists and residents 2 full city blocks of shopping, dining, and entertainment. The 4-level mall is connected via skywalks to 12 major hotels and the newly expanded Indiana Convention Center. So what's going to be in Indiana? The NBA All-Star Game. Maybe I can go there. Maybe go to the Circle Center. And the newly expanded, the Lucas Oil Stadium is just 3 blocks away. And the city will welcome more than 22 million visitors each year for professional and amateur sporting events, as well as the convention and cultural events. So the key tenants are like what the United Arts Theater, Indianapolis Star, NADA, Punch Bowl, and Punch Bowl Social. If you look at the property fact sheet, you'll know that downtown Indianapolis is rated number 3 downtown in the nation by Livability.com. It's the largest employers or corporate headquarters include Eli Lilly, IUP, UI, Cummins, Infosystems, Salesforce, One America, Rolls-Royce, Luxury Automobile, and Anthem. And then the sports scene is stellar, they say, or stellar. WNBA, Indiana Fever, the NBA Indiana Pacers, the NFL Indianapolis Colts, and the MILB Indianapolis Indians. So, the NASL Indy 11, the ECHL, Indy Fuel, and Greatest Spectacles in Racing, and the Indianapolis 500 and the NFL Scouting Combine. There are museums in Indianapolis, like the Indianapolis Museum of Art, the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library, the Eitel George Museum of American Indians and Western Art, and the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Oh, I'm going to love Indianapolis. The mall is anchored by by several different stores, the Gannett Company, Indianapolis Star offices, and different things. There's also a TJ Maxx. That's good. A Weber Grill. I purchased this dress from Nike.com. It's a nice dress. Certain people will hypnotize you to gain weight as you type for them. Isn't that great? So let's pray. Let's all go to church. Let's act like we do in church, or we a place of worship. So then, so this is great. There's a P.F. Chang's there, and Tony Steaks and Seafood, and Yard House. I like Yard House. Don't y'all like Yard House? I like Yard House. There's Charlie's Philly Steaks. I like to drive. Oh, maybe I'll bring the police cheesesteaks that I don't cook from Philly when I go to Philly. How many people? How many people do I have to bring? 211. That's funny. Where do you order 211 Philly cheesesteaks? So downtown Indianapolis is amazing, and this is where the Circle Mall is. And I think, what do I want? The median home value is about $149,000 or more, and the average annual household income in Indianapolis near the Circle Centre Mall is about $62,441. That's pretty good. So that's the median. So 50% earn more, not the average. This is the average. I'm sorry, this is the average, not the median. So that's pretty good. There's space available. There is space available. There's a large space available in the Circle Centre on Washington and Meridian Street. On level 3, level 2, and level 4. No, not level 4. So the space, it's a large space, and it's on level 3 and level 2. On level 2, it's near the Oceanair Seafood Room, and is that it? And then on level, that's level 3. On level 2, it's on Somebody in Washington Street, not really near. So that's good. So those are the business districts in near the Circle Central Mall in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's a Simon Property Group mall or shopping center. When you own a mall, Magic Johnson spoke at the ICSC. I didn't see him speak. I wonder if there's video. But the ISC is for people who own shopping centers, open air or closed. And it's the International Council of Shopping Centers. Let's talk about the Gary Putt Library. There's a Carter G. Woodson branch, the Gary Public Library and Cultural Center. So they have the libraries. Maybe I'll take a recreational vehicle to Gary and maybe read or have people read. Just something for people to do other than harassing, stalking people, physically assaulting them. Oh, so this is great. They have curbside pickup at the Gary Public Library in Gary, Indiana. And prayerfully events. And you can travel to the website garypubliclibrary.org. That's garypubliclibrary.org. In Philadelphia, there's the freelibrary.org. Celebrate Immigrant Heritage Month. It's on their website. So it's great. I had a library card. I had a library card there. Isn't that great? Well, they have computer classes, adult educational classes. Get your GED and improve your English. I need to improve my English, right? They have college prep courses, computer classes, conferences. Maybe they'll update the website. And that's freelibrary.org. Free Library of Philadelphia. Oh, they did update it, and I apologize. So Mr. Dubois played reading. And it says, that was yesterday, but no, that's today at 6 p.m. Sorry, at the Parkway Central Library. It is in 1898, Philadelphia, and Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois was stuck in a magical hole. How will he find his way out? Celebrate Juneteenth by joining playwright Momo St. Clair and actors from the Philadelphia Theater. Oh, the Odunde Festival. I think that's on. When is that? Is that the June 19th celebration that they have? The Odunde. It's like an African festival in Philadelphia, and you can Google Odunde. So that's tonight. That looks interesting. And you can visit the freelibrary.org for more information. Prayerfully, I can have an event at the Free Library of Philadelphia. The main branch is on Market, no? Somewhere near Market. The police station is near there, so is the district attorney's office. Remember I worked for the district attorney's office and the police station? Whew. Did that in college. So my mom and I have birthdays in the summer. At least I didn't have to rape children in order to earn income. Isn't that beautiful? So I like sewing. There's Classic Sewing magazine. I was looking at that. I was looking at magazines like Bake From Scratch and The Cottage Journal, Louisiana Cooking, Southern Cast Iron, Southern Home, Southern Lady, Taste of the South, Tea Time, Victoria. Those look like nice magazines. That's owned by another company. So then, Bojangles. Bojangles, the restaurant, bojangles.com. And also Arby's has franchising opportunities. I think I ate at Arby's. Michael Jordan starting a franchise. Oh, so Golden Cross has a beautiful franchise. So I have to stop filming right now. But my friend Danielle has Feast on History. That's feastonhistory.com. So we attended high school together. And she has tours, virtual tours. My father may have to approve that budget. Maybe I'll watch that virtual tour. Any information about your podcast stuff on your Facebook page? Where is it? Is it called Changing the Trajectory? I know I listened to one podcast. Where's the other podcast? Oh. And it says Cooks. That looks good. I guess if you're friends with Seth and you're from Temple University, you can listen to his podcast. Oh. Thanks. So. Thank you, Mr. Stephen Ballone. He was on live on Facebook Live. He's the Suffolk County executive. We love Long Island. Long Island. ClassicSewingMagazine.com. So, let's talk about the Philadelphia Business District. Ow. You can listen to the brand new Heaviest Temple University Police. So we have artists Groove Theory and Janae. They attended Temple University. Hey, Groove Theory. Hey, Google. Hey, Google, play Groove Theory. Let's play Groove Theory.
Okay, play Groove Theory on Google Play Music.
If you go to my website, IntelligentLuxuryMagazine.com, you can watch the videos that are on my blog. And, oh God. So this is, I like this song. Remember Winnebago is Winnebago, IND.com. So in Charlotte, they're renaming anything named by Civil War. No, not Civil War, I'm sorry. What do you call it? The Confederacy? I remember the NAACP, I'm a lifetime member. Microsoft, they're happy. So now I have to talk about Philadelphia Business District. I think, because I lived in Philadelphia for about 5 years, as I attended Temple University, have my own apartment, I think that I like North Philadelphia. It may have a high crime rate in certain areas. Great place to be. There's Temple University in LaSalle in North Philadelphia. There's an Amtrak station. in North Philadelphia that I used to travel to. It's a long walk from Temple University's campus. Excuse me. It is a distance from Temple University campus, is what I would say. Yet there's also a SEPTA regional rail stop at Temple University. LaSalle is a little different. It may be near a Broad Street line, but LaSalle is a really great school. And University of Pennsylvania is in West Philadelphia, great area to start doing business, especially near the train station, 30th Street Station, Amtrak Station. And then there's Center City, Philadelphia. Center City, Philadelphia is where the Marriott is located and the convention center. And also, so let me go to the Center City District. Thank y'all for emailing me this information, Center City District, in the past. So they talk about doing business. I believe that Mr. Corradino was on the board. So they talk about why Center City. Center City, Old Town, South Street, a great place to start a business near the stadium in South Philadelphia. There's a basketball and baseball stadium in South Philadelphia, and we took the the Broad Street line to the stadium. Very easy to take the subway, which is the Broad Street line, to the stadium. You could take the Market Street line to 30th Street Station, and then you get on the Amtrak. So first class Amtrak was really nice. And then it's so funny, they were building a cellar as I worked at 30th Street Station with my manager from, they call it Trans World Entertainment, which was Coconuts. It was a record store. We sold CDs, tapes, and records. And it's called FYE Entertainment. FYE Entertainment Coconuts. So that was at the Pyramid Mall that I worked at. I forgot I worked there. So they're reopening restaurants. And they're improving Sister Cities Park. So I know I love walking along Market Street in Philadelphia, Chestnut, and Walnut, then going to South Street, then going to the King of Prussia Mall by car. So, my roommates had a car. I did not have a car in college. So they would drive me to the Cherry Hill Mall, to the King of Prussia Mall. Cherry Hill Mall is a Crete, and the King of Prussia is the Summit Property Group Mall. And you could leave space in both of those malls. So with the fashion district is where the Galleria was located, near Strawbridge's, which is now closed. And then there was a JCPenney's. The JCPenney's still open. I wonder if the JCPenney's open. I'm asking you all out there, not the person hacking my website. It's official, he said. Cocktails to go are now available through Philadelphia as a part of it to support local businesses. You can go to centercityphila.org/cocktails to go. This way / forward, or I think this is called a backslash. I do not have Down syndrome, but if you do have Down syndrome, pray that this woman doesn't stalk you. She sexually assaulted Down syndrome people. So, Toni Morrison wrote a book about it. What's Toni Morrison's latest book? You can Google Toni Morrison. Thank you, Ms. Morrison. Let's talk about reopening restaurants. If you see email, you might get arrested. You can't contact them. So the new CCD, the Center City District survey, examined the public views on when they will open shopping and dining. 17,000 residents who live between Girard Avenue, great place to live, Spring Garden, between Girard and Spring Garden and Market. That's a great place. That's near, it's near Center City, Philadelphia. And apparently, a lot of these respondents from SurveyMonkey, directly to 17,000 residents. Well, the survey was completed, and the surveys revealed they rely primarily on neighborhood restaurants, with 76% walking to pick up their meals and 29% relied on car taxi or car share, 5% biked. Philadelphia is really good. You can walk from Temple University to Center City in about an hour. Because I lived in Philadelphia during the SEPTA strike. So I know Temple University has a Center City campus. And they have security. For those who are all the guards. I actually was not a guard. I was a student guard. And I worked for Temple University. So I was at survey. Where's my information about the fashion district? So let's start a business in Center City. I'm moving to Center City. I may purchase an apartment in Center City. There are resources they talk about resources on centercityphila.org for you to go to learn more about how to start a business or help with starting a business and help with opening a store. They have Be In on it, Philadelphia Retail Marketing Alliance. So those are the business districts. Market Street, primarily Market Street East and south of Market Street, between Market and Broad. South of Market and east of Broad is like the main business district because there's like a Galleria right on Market, or what they call now the Fashion District. And then they have, so here are the shopping districts that they say. So they have Midtown Village. Now they have a Midtown Village. Is a unique neighborhood. Where's Midtown Village? So there's Rittenhouse Square, and that's west of the shopping center, Broad, and south of Market. The Midtown Village is a thriving Center City neighborhood that reconnects Rittenhouse Road's prestigious shopping corridor to major Philadelphia tourist attractions. Including the Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell is like Old Town, Old City, and the Independence Mall. I like going there. It's a nice place to shop. In Midtown Village, local retailers sell hand poured soaps, custom made stationery, and assortment of interesting finds. So that's near there. Liberty Bell, that's a great place to go. Rittenhouse Square, Rittenhouse Row, is Philadelphia's 5-star destination. They call it Row now. Then they have West Market Office District, and then Center City East. So I just joined the email list there. So I've been to Fairmount Park. Fairmount Park is a nice area. That's west of Broad and kind of like West Philly, north of Market. And that's where the Schuylkill River is located. And you can see the UPenn and Temple University, maybe LaSalle, Drexel Universities, Community College of Philadelphia, other Villanova, St. John's. They row on the Schuylkill. And then there's the Delaware River, which is east of Broad Street, and Delaware Avenue is where there's different restaurants like Dave & Buster's when I went there, and other restaurants and nightclubs. So 18 to party, 21 to drink, alcoholic beverages. Let's talk about different things. So anyway, they have special events in Philadelphia sponsored by the CCD, or Central City District. Their Center City District Restaurant Week, and that's a twice yearly invitation to sample Center City's extraordinary array of great eateries. And then they have other events. Restaurant Week Winter 2020. Yes, they're going to have it in the winter. So support Center City businesses like Brooks Brothers, Banana Leaf, Biology, Chatai Thai, City Winery, Maggiano's, Sampan, Starbucks, Tiffany's Bakery, Great Bakery in Philadelphia, Tiffany's Bakery, Philly.com, that's in the fashion district. So my mom will be entering soon. They want my mom to say, take the dress off. They don't think the dress fits, but it does fit me. At least I didn't steal it. So then, the other thing is some retailers and restaurants are here to serve you. So go for it, and that's in the Fashion District. If you travel to the website fashiondistrictphiladelphia.com, there's a District Insider. I don't know how they can tell that it's too tight for me. They shouldn't be looking at me in my apartment, right? They're about to go to prison. It's actually it's a tight dress. Oh, it's not too tight. So this Nike dress is a very tight dress, so you have to order a large size. Then there are different events at Center City District Parks. And you can go to centercityphilly.org//parks/events. Events powered by Live Nation. So then, the Fashion District Philadelphia.com is a the Pennsylvania Real Estate Investment Trust REIT. They have different, they have a silver screen and they have events. And that's in Center City, Philadelphia on Market Street now. So 901 Market Street. That 9th and Market. Oh, you know there's an art museum, African American Art Museum. Somewhere near 9th and Arch. Is that South of Market? Or North of Market? Somewhere near 9th Street there. So the man that owns the Preet is on the board of trustees at Temple University, or is it the board of directors? Oh. Oh, maybe there could be a steakhouse there. Oh, Center City Fit, presented by Rothman Orthopedics, has gone virtual. They have Zumba and boot camp videos that can be streamed every Monday and Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. on Dilworth Park's Facebook page until further notice. Where's the Fashion District? And there's no taxes on apparel and accessory purchases under $100, maybe? Adios.